Well, Israel will have their war with Iran, even if the Trump administration secures a nuclear treaty. So is that treaty some kind of exercise in futility? Now, CNN is reporting that, but Israel has been saying it outright, so hardly is it a scoop. Now, publicly, the Trump administration has said they want a nuclear deal. They do not want to partner with Israel to bomb Iran, but they have moved the goalpost in just a matter of weeks, clearing a path for an attack on Iran. Now, originally, this is in April, rather, they said they wanted Iran to have a nuclear energy program. So some enrichment of uranium was fine, but they could not enrich, look at this here, anywhere near 90%, which is needed for a nuclear bomb. Steve Witkoff here says this to Fox News in April, that 3.67% of enrichment, we can live with that. That would be fine. To which Israel said, actually, no, 3% is not okay, even though 3% can never become a bomb. You need it to be at 90%. But Israel said, absolutely, our threshold is 0. No uranium in Iran, full stop, 0. And then the United States changed their tune. Here is Witkoff just 1 month later saying, yes, 0 is the amount. Previously, we said 3%. Now it's 0. What, I ask you, changed in a month? We have never been able to prove that Iran had a nuclear program. The Obama administration did their damnedest to try. The Bush administration launched a cyber weapon on their nuclear centrifuges with Israel, and still we have no proof. A decade later, the highest enrichment observed by the IAEA, that's the International Atomic Energy Agency, was 60%. And they told us they inspected every gram. So what is this absolute panic and determination to bomb Iran? Now, Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi, I'm sorry, I'm not saying his name properly. He said, look.
Better than I could say it.
Look, we are going to have a nuclear program because it is one of our crowning achievements. He says, we need it, they've said all along, for nuclear power and other types of industry. He said, if the U.S. is interested in ensuring that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, a deal is within reach. We're serious about the weapons program, but you need to come to the table and let's stop fighting in public because it's counterintuitive. He also retweeted a post from this independent journalist saying, again, the U.S. is being incredibly inconsistent. We can see this. We're Americans and we can see this, that originally the Trump administration said 3% enrichment is fine, and now they're saying 0. We have to acknowledge that our own diplomats are being inconsistent.
This is, I mean, what's changed here? What's changed? 60% enrichment was fine. Then it's 0% is fine. Like they keep moving the goalpost here.
Right. Then 3% is fine. And even the Trump administration had said, we want Iran to be prosperous. Affordable energy is the way to prosperity. We want them to have that. Israel said, absolutely not. And then the United States said, we don't want that. We never said that. We don't mean that. We never said that. So, okay, we're studying. We're following. Why? Why has the football been moved? Okay.
It's goalposts.
What Obama used to always say, you're moving the football. Like,
no, you're moving the goalposts.
This is also a thing from Charlie Brown.
Oh, I guess
you
you're
move
moving
the football. You pull the football.
All right, I get it. Yeah. But I think moving the goalposts.
This was a proper use of idioms.
Okay.
It comes from Charlie Brown.
We joke that Natali can never get an idiom correct, like an apple a day.
Yeah.
Do you know what that one is?
I do. Keeps the doctor away.
Wow, that's very good.
This one, last night we taught our kids, they'd never heard it. We want a pitcher.
Not a belly itcher.
Right. They didn't know this. I guess kids these days don't say that. Like foster boys, you knew it.
That's not an idiom. That's just like a baseball.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but so they're moving the goalpost repeatedly, and they're also pulling a Charlie Brown, Lucy pulling the football from Charlie Brown.
That's exactly where I was going. I'm glad you're following me.
Am.
Okay, audience, are you? I hope you are. I'm trying to be clear, and if I'm not, I own that. So who here is acting in good faith? Is it us? Usually it's not. It doesn't feel like it is, given we were fairly encouraged that the United States was working in good faith with Iran, wanting the best for them, not lying about a nuclear weapon. How did this happen? Or is it Israel's wish list for that war and our secret foreign policy goals? Now, this is the way CNN reports it, that the heightened worry stems from the public and private messaging from senior Israeli officials I'm sorry, I cut off that screenshot. That's on me. What it's saying here is we're spying on them, that we know what their private messaging is. We've seen it. They want this. And why not? They spy on us, I guess. Are we all cool with that? That would be an international scandal, right, if we were paying attention. And they seem to be prepping for a war with Iran with the weapons that we send them. So why would Israel thwart the U.S. peace deal? To sabotage that deal is what CNN is reporting. This source, unnamed source, says it's more likely that they strike to try and get the American deal to fall apart because they're saying it will be a bad deal. So either the U.S. is doing Israel's bidding or Israel is trying to sabotage U.S. negotiations. Or here's the third option from former U.S. Marine Brian Berletic and the New Atlas YouTube channel. If you haven't seen his channel, it's fantastic. As he puts it, there is no daylight between the U.S. and Israel, and there is no daylight between the Trump and Biden administration. This was always the plan all along. We are being yanked by the chain to believe that there is really anyone working against it. So what do you think? Is this all a charade to pretend we can have plausible deniability that we didn't want this war with Iran all along? Is the spirit of John McCain, who wanted this so badly, still calling the shots? What do you think?
The spirit of John McCain, who famously sang a song on stage about bomb Iran, bomb Iran. And we're like, he really absolutely. And then you have warmongers like Lindsey Graham and others in Congress who are still actively pushing for this to happen, using whatever sort of stories and narratives, deep state narratives that they can to come up with. That, remember, the Iranian mothership was off the coast of the United States ready to bomb us right before President Trump took office. So there was an Iranian mothership right there.
Right.
There was an attack in London from Iranians. It was all tied to Iran once again. So you hear these narratives all around Europe.
But don't forget, Iran also tried to assassinate President Trump.
Yeah, even
while
though
he was on the campaign
Roger
trail.
Stone called BS on that from the very beginning, that was another deep state ploy to drag us into a war with Iran. So people in the chat room are pointing out, they're like, President Trump seems to change with the wind on this. And it's like, I don't know, whoever has him last in the room has a conversation with him. That's who, and he just sort of changes with the wind. So we're at 60% enriched uranium, then at 0, and we just keep moving things around.
Right. I mean, I feel like that's a little condescending to say that he doesn't have his own foreign policy that's consistent. And that is how people report that whoever had his ear last is where he goes. Surely he has some idea about either wanting or not wanting a war with Iran. But is it going to keep us safe? Is it put in? I really don't know, because, again, it's whatever the way the wind blows right now, the way Israel says. And so we can't. We're studying this. We're following you. You're a windsock.
Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it. And we know internally, we know sources here at Redacted know that there are people surrounding President Trump who actively do not want a war with Iran, J.D. Vance specifically. Are those voices strong enough to prevent this from happening, to not do Israel's bidding and moving us towards a massively damaging war for the United States? Remember, we have 50,000 American troops that are stationed in that region right now. We've had multiple experts on the show pointing out that they would be sitting ducks, that they're not actual military bases, and many of them are like small outposts. They don't have the ability to stop any sort of hypersonic weapons or anything for that matter. Very minimal protection for these 50,000 Americans. Why the hell are we there? Why the hell are we involving ourselves with this? We need to get out of that space. The revolution of cryptocurrency. Stop investing in meme coins that are scamming you out of your savings. Invest in real Bitcoin and grow your wealth using Block Trust IRA and Animus AI. Are you ready to break free from the outdated buy and hold crypto strategies and unlock the true potential of cryptocurrency? Well, if you welcome yourself now to the cryptocurrency revolution, Block Trust IRA, their AI-driven technology predicts the market with computer-driven accuracy. Whether you have a retirement account like a 401k or IRA, or just cash savings sitting in a bank account somewhere, making you little to no interest, Block Trust's IRA clients are able to maximize their earnings potential and outperform the market. They're the only crypto management firm in the market right now using cutting-edge technology to improve returns and significantly reduce risk. Crypto has created more than 80,000 new millionaires in just the last year. And you could be next. Block Trust IRA makes financial freedom available to everyone by accepting both IRAs and cash investments from around the world. So if you've got an old IRA just sitting around, you can move it over and actually started investing in crypto. Unlike meme coins or scams that prey on hardworking Americans, BlockTrust IRA has the best-in-class military-grade technology, and their clients are 100% insured for up to $200 million of insurance. And they're named Bitcoin Magazine's #1 crypto trading fund. It's BlockTrust IRA. So go right now to redactednewscrypto.com, right there on your screen, redactednewscrypto.com, or call their 800 number and talk to the team over there, 1-800-649-6732.
As this continues to heat up, the war in Gaza is horrid. I think there's no one who can deny that. Israel wants.
There are plenty of people that can deny
it on the but on the basis that they deserve it. But no one's denying that civilians are being killed in horrific ways. Now, as this happens, we are fairly certain here at Redacted that anti-war voices are being shadow banned, including us. Now, we notice what our live streams look like. We're watching the amount of people that are allowed to watch our videos. If we put Israel and Iran in the title, we suffer, and we can tell that. Now, is it because, and please ring in, are you too tired of war? Do you have war fatigue from the war in Ukraine that you just can't follow another one? Or do you think something else is at work? We would really benefit from knowing, because we're watching this research. We're trying to see, are people being downranked and shadow banned? Well, past his prologue for this, we should be able to see this clearly now. Since 2003, we've had this pivotal study showing how the media was suppressing the anti-war narrative around the war in Iraq. This was a study that found that 64% of sources on major networks were pro-war, only 10% were anti-war, and among U.S. sources, even worse, 3% were anti-war, resulting in a 25-to-1 ratio favoring pro-war voices over anti-war. Now, back then, we did not have independent journalists with big channels. We did not have influencers to tell a different story. But now that we do, we see those voices being shadow banned, and we've noticed that on our channel. Now, we've been through this before. In 2021, when the war broke out in Ukraine, we were given a channel strike for reporting what the Ukrainian army had been doing to the people of the Donbas region for over a decade. We've seen this, right? We notice this now with other influencers who speak out on behalf of starving civilians in Gaza. Here's just one example that I saw today. Elvin Kilgore, he said, in the past few months, I get hundreds of thousands of likes or interactions. Now he's struggling with just 10 likes on a post daily. So something has switched. He's appealing to Elon Musk, but Musk is decidedly pro-Israel and has been suspiciously quiet on X about politics lately. He says he's sort of ramping down his political voice, but censorship seems, or shadow banning seems to be happening, if you ask me. Now, we can argue about the word genocide. That hardly matters at this point. What is not in dispute is that Israel is causing innocent civilians to starve and die horrific deaths. And right-wing politicians in Israel are mad that just this week, Israel is claiming to have let even a nominal amount of aid into Gaza. Here is National Security Minister on Tuesday saying that these aid trucks are a grave mistake that delays our victory. Because, I mean, if someone's already starving, they're almost dead. Now you're going to prolong that death? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, keep them alive a little bit longer. Like,
right.
That's taking away your game plan.
He says that there is no way to ensure that food won't end up in the hands of Hamas murderers. Question: if you pretend that you love your hostages and they are in the hands of Hamas, do you want them to starve? Is that collateral damage? Because you're saying you're doing this to get the hostages back, but then you're knowingly starving your own hostages. What's the logic in that? Clayton, do you
I don't. There is no logic in this.
Okay. More proof, I think, that they don't care about the hostages. Now, here's Israel saying they are letting aid into Gaza and making sure that it doesn't get to Hamas. But this is a total canard. Palestinian-American journalist Ramzi Baroud explained this to us on Redacted just a few weeks ago. He says Hamas is not like a group of bad guys. It is a political ideology for many Palestinians. You can't kill all Republicans in the United States and then have that ideal die. Listen to how he put it.
Gaza is a different story. Hamas is Gaza and Gaza is Hamas. You have a society that is so well connected, you can't even decide who, like my family has representation from all sorts of political backgrounds. My family is mostly communist and socialist, but you also have your Fatah and your Hamas and your everybody. It's not the kind of thing you will say, two of the brothers stay in Gaza and the other two brothers would leave Gaza. It makes no sense. Netanyahu knows this, but he is trying to increase the ceiling of the demands to make it appear as if it's the Palestinians who are delaying the process of a final ceasefire that would allow Palestinians to receive finally some respite, some food, some electricity, some water, gas for their cars, material for reconstruction of Gaza. So he's using this as a tactic. But in actuality, there can be no imaginable scenario in which Hamas or any other Palestinian group will leave Gaza. It's just not going to happen.
Okay. So what the response is, the Israeli response is, when you speak out on behalf of this horrific situation for civilians, is, no, you need to still be mad about October 7th, which gives us the license to keep going. So if you speak on behalf of civilians who are suffering today, you need to still be mad about October 7th, under the assumption that everything began on October 7th. Now, we've covered this at length, that on October 7th, Israel had 5,000 Palestinian prisoners, many of them held without cause, many of them women and children, most of them subject to beating and sexual assault. You can't care about them. You can only care about the people who died and were harmed and captured on October 7th. You're not supposed to value lives equally, full stop. In fact, Israel is saying that if you are not only outraged about October 7th, that's blood libel. Here they are speaking out against Tom Fletcher, the head of the United Nations, who keeps saying, we need to rescue these people, we need to give them aid, which means, again, we are supposed to look the other way when civilians are killed because we're mad about October 7th. We are mad about October 7th. We are sad about those deaths equally as the deaths that continue. The only reasonable human reaction is to want us to stop now. Now they are attacking the utmost peace voices, including Julian Assange. Assange wore this shirt to an event in Cannes this week with the names of almost 5,000 Palestinian children under 5 killed since 2023 by the Israeli government. Now they're saying he's a Hamas supporter. I'm sorry, but I'd like to remind you that he was persecuted for showing how the United States with Israel went into bloody and pointless wars in the Middle East. This has always been his position. This is not new. Oh, and the Pope. The Pope is now an anti-Semite for posting this, that the situation in Gaza is worrying and painful. Here are all the comments saying, why aren't you talking about the hostages? What about Palestinians? Or what about Israelis? Well, he's not talking about any race of people. He's talking about all who are suffering, which we can assume does include the hostage. So to my mind, when they attack Assange and the peaceful message of the Pope, you know where this is leading. You know where anti-war voices are headed. So let us know. Are you seeing this? Are you engaged with this? Do you see the shadow banning of anti-war voices? Because we are increasingly panicked about the fact that we will not be able to reach our audience with this, because this is what's happening. Let us know if we are on the mark.
A friend of the show, Tucker Carlson, mentioned this just the other day. I mean, his big concern is that because if you're speaking out against this, if you are actively engaged in trying to prevent wars, that they're going to shut this down. They're going to shut down the ability for us to have this type of speech. And a lot of people in the chat room, and like Kevin Daniels says, Redacted is only for non-wars, not on any side. Yeah, we're vehemently anti-war, and anti-war voices are completely marginalized on these independent platforms. I hope maybe members of Congress, I would love for members of Congress to haul people up from like YouTube in front of them and ask, like, how are they actively shadow banning independent voices who are speaking out against these topics? If only we had a congressman we could speak to about all of these issues.